So sections in Layout Builder give you the opportunity to change the background on any individual section. So if you configure the section, you can go to Appearance. There is now a tab for background color. So if I want, I can make this Aggie Gold and update it. You will see that the background has now changed. However, the component, the block itself, still has its original background and coloring. So if you need, you can get rid of all of this by clicking this little checkbox right here that says remove the default background color from blocks. Once you check that, it will open up a new option, which is force text color changes. Most of the time, the overwhelming amount of time, just leave this at default, and what that will do is it will automatically figure out what the contrast color should be to go with this background. So if I change this background color to a darker, it will then automatically swap the colors out for something that has a correct contrast color for accessibility. Now, that's fine most of the time. However, sometimes you will be using an image. So if we look at this, it actually has no background color, but it does have this light colored image. So in this case, it happens to work because dark text happens to be the default. So this is probably fine for most cases. Again, I added the checkbox here to remove the background. So if that wasn't there, you would have your block background appearing. Remove that, leave it at default, and it should all work. The trouble comes in when you have a dark background image. The system doesn't know what color your image is. You have to decide that for yourself. So there's actually text here, you just can't see it. So if we go to Appearance, this is where the force text color comes into play. So we want to actually force light text on a dark background. And now our text will show up just fine. If I were to save this, we can scroll down, see that everything works. But let's say worst case scenario, this thing has some problems and it actually doesn't render correctly. So let's say this image is broken. Everything's still here, but that person's not going to be able to read your text. Probably a very fringe thing that's going to happen, but just in case, there is a way to get around that. And you can actually do it without even trying to figure out forcing the color. So instead of choosing light on dark, you could actually give this a default background color, and it's not there because the image is over the top of it. However, if we save it and then inspect and delete that image again, so imagine this thing, the image broke for some reason, didn't load, you're going to have a fallback color which will at least allow the person to read their text. So this is sort of fringy edge stuff, but something to be aware of, something you can use to your advantage. So just being aware that you have these ability to remove the background and then, if necessary, force a contrast color of the text to the background. But most of the time you can leave this at default and everything is fine. So I hope that helps.